Welcome to Remembering Saturdays. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I missed being here. Last weekend I missed it because I was having taking some time for myself with my sisters, my sisterhood. I was having a nice, comfortable retreat and just relaxing. Uh, I would have to say unlearning some things while I was, you know, with my sisters. I enjoyed it. It was an amazing time. The time was had. And if you guys ever want to join a sisterhood and you're out here in Dallas, Texas, hit me up. Hey, Francine, how are you? Hit me up. I'll talk about that a little bit more once I'm done with tonight's video. Can you hear me, Francine? Welcome, everyone. I am so happy to be here. Welcome to Remembering Saturdays. And it's about to be amazing, amazing conversation tonight because we notice that we do this a lot with animals. We domesticate animals. We domesticate them, take them out of their natural element to serve us, which is fine. No judgment here. I have a cat. So that's just something that we decided to do and we did it. Fine, because we thought that that's what it meant to do. Have when the Bible said we should have dominion over the animals. I mean, I believe differently now. But hey, no problem. Anyway, so tonight's conversation is a little different. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't come here to teach, obviously, and I didn't come here with all the answers. And I didn't come here to get you to shift your beliefs and argue with your theology. I simply came here to open your mind to new perspectives. So take what resonates and leave the rest. I came here tonight with an observation because I've been sitting back over the past couple of days, the past few weeks, and I've just been observing, just been doing something that I don't think many of us do too much because either we don't have the time or we just are not aware of it enough to even care what's actually going on around us. And I'm not talking about the news. I'm not talking about what's going on around the world. I'm talking about what's going on with us as an individual. Us. The one thing that we have creative control over right now, not what's going on outside. If we can get creative control over what we're ourselves, then guess what we can do? We can get some type of collective control on what's going on outside of us, externally. So I came here with an observation. I've been watching us move about our days. I've just been observing us and watching how we deal with people. Hey, how are you? So I just been watching. I've been sitting. I've been watching, just observing, like watching people at the store, watching them in traffic, just watching their conversations, just watching people, watching social media. They're very rarely, which I don't do that often. And you know what else I've been doing? I've been watching myself, watching how I operate with the rest of the world. Okay, so and this question going to hit a nerve, but this question keeps surfacing. The same way we domesticate an animal, and I'm not meaning to sound it like this, but have we been domesticated? Honestly, this is just from my observation and watching how everyone moves. And have we been domesticated? And I don't mean control, not manipulated, not enslaved, domesticated. Literally, domesticated. Because when I look at domesticated animals, I notice something interesting. Hi, Rupert. They learn routines. Do they? Do they not? Animals learn routines. They learn acceptable behavior. They learn what works for them. They learn rewards. They learn that when they do certain things, they're going to be rewarded. They learn punishments when they do certain shit. Things are going to get things are going to happen to them. And they learned that they are allowed to go. They learn when they are not allowed to go. That's crazy. Have you ever I mean, I don't have a dog, but I've seen how they've been. I swear this YouTube want to start with me tonight. This network really want to start with me tonight, but it's not going to win. It's not going to win. So let me know if y'all can hear me because this YouTube's starting to act up. Hi, Saddam. Hi, Rupert. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How are you? Anyway, so let me get back to this. So eventually they stop questioning. The dogs stop questioning. Eventually they stop exploring. Eventually they simply accept the boundaries. They just accept the boundaries. And I started wondering, like, what the hell? Like, how much of our lives are choices? Of course you can. How much of our lives are choices and how much are simply inherited patterns? How much? Honestly, it don't make it is we sit here and think that we're actually beneath some of us, I won't say all of us, are actually beneath animals when if we actually look at and take some time to observe how we operate, we move the same way. We moved like we've been domesticated. We move like we've been domesticated because in a way we have been. And let me start by defining exactly what it is that I mean. A wild horse and a domesticated horse, they still horses, right? They still horses, but the potential didn't disappear. Is this an analogy for a late stage cabinet? Anyway, so the potential didn't disappear. The nature didn't disappear. The power didn't disappear. The difference is conditioning. It's the conditioning. Y'all bored tonight. I can see that. But anyway, one learns to move freely. One learns to move with boundaries. I can tell you this. I can absolutely tell you this. I used to be way more spontaneous than I am now. Hi, Kimba. Way more. But I can tell, I'm going to be honest, I've been domesticated. Because I've learned to not be who I needed to be or who I desired to be because it wasn't pleasing to others. It wasn't pleasing to others. So I decided I just threw it away. I threw it away. I threw away how I felt and what I desired. And I sit back and watch how people operate. They all did. We all did. We all threw away our truth just to mask up and be something that we're not to please the rest of the world. Whether you want to admit it or admit it not, you're not who you truly desire to be. You're not. You're not who you truly desire to be. And I can say this because, and I honestly, I'll take it from me. There's some things that I would say and do that would be fun for me and light up my soul and light up who I am. But in the same breath, I have people around me watching me and who wouldn't say that that's, something you should be doing. So you don't agree with it. So, but it makes me feel happy. It makes me, hi, hussy. It lights up something in me and it makes me feel good. So I'm not going to do it because that's denial. That's denial of self. And if there ever was a sin, that's it. That's it. So in a way, we've been domesticated just like the animal. We have been. I'm telling you because I sat back and watched us. I watched us how we operate. I watch us how we move with cell phones. I watch us how we move around other people. Oh, what is this person going to think if I say or do this? Who cares? Who cares? Okay, like who cares? We give up so much of ourselves and so much of our truth, and what for what? It doesn't serve us. And what if many of us have accepted these limitations? Like, oh my God, we have accepted these limitations as who we like to say, oh, that's just who I am. No, no, it's not. No, it's not. That phrase right there, it just shows that you're just running from the truth because it's not who you are. Because if you've been who you are, you couldn't even say that phrase. You would, if you're aware of who you truly are, you would never use that phrase again. That's just who I am. Because the words wouldn't even need to be needed because you'd be acting as who you are. You would be who you are. Forget acting. You would be who you are. And it's one thing I have to say about, and I'm gonna keep it real. Some of y'all may not agree, but we talk about people who decided to procreate with the same race, men on men, women on women. But I have to tell you something. There are some bold individuals because they walk out on, a lot of them, maybe not all of them, they walk out on what they believe in. They walk out on what their truth is, and they don't give a damn what anybody says. I realized last night just by being observant, I actually give a damn what somebody say. And if I would be sitting here lying if I didn't say I did. I would be sitting here lying if I didn't say I did. Now it's to an extent, but I'm coming out of that. I'm sitting back observing, just watching how much we've become puppets. We've become puppets. And it wasn't to intend any harm because it was passed down. And I hate the fact that we just don't want to question the shit that we've been passed that has been passed down to us. It don't help us and it doesn't serve us and it blows. So what's the point of keeping it? All right. So let me ask y'all something. I'm gonna stop yapping because sometimes I feel like I'm all over the place. So, what is one thing you were taught growing up that you no longer believe? And I know this is a question that I ask, but I ask it repetitively because it is through repetition and it's through consistency that we find and we figure out that we remember our truth. I'll tell you, there's so many things that I no longer believe in. For one, obviously, you all know the way religion was taught, the way religion is. It's just a system for control to me. It's a system to divide us. So that's one thing I no longer believe in. I don't have a religion. I would say something, but I don't want to scare y'all tonight. But I don't have a religion. I don't have one. That's one thing that I was taught that I no longer believe. And children, you know what children do often? They question. Have you ever noticed that children always ask why? 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 And then eventually that changes. Eventually, at some point, many of us become more interested in fitting in than understanding. Everybody thinks they need to fit in. Religion is a way of living defines you. Religion is a way of what I'm not really getting how you're saying that. Ralph, Ralph Feeney. Religion is a way of life. Oh, that's what you meant. Religion is a way of life. It defines you. But why should it define you? Why should your religion define who you are? That's when we mold into to be something that we're not. We're molding in to be something that we're not because of a religion that we was taught or was inherited through our parents. So why should we allow religion to define who we are? Because in our spirituality don't define who I am either. Yes, I know spirituality. Yes, spirituality is a part of my life. Science, none of that stuff defines who we are. It's not. And we stop asking, we start accepting. We inherit opinions, we inherit fears, we inherit expectations, and we do not. We just never ask why. And I'm a big believer in questioning everything now. So that's where my book came from. What if it was all a lie? I'm already working on book 2. What if it was all a lie? Now what? What if it was all a lie? That's what book 2 is. Now what? Now we apply what we've learned and what we've questioned. But I'm not gonna get off topic. But Ralph Feeney, I don't think that religion should be a way of life because you forget who you are in that religion. You lose who you truly are in that religion. And who would I be without all of this? Like who would I be without all of this? Without spirituality, without me coming on here talking every day, who would I be? I would be me. I would be me. I would exercise my power 24/7 and not in a cocky way. Not in a cocky way, but in a knowing way. Knowing that I am source. And imagine meeting yourself before the world told you who you should become. You are what you think you are by what you do and say. Yeah, I could agree with that. You are what you think you are by what you do and say. I mean, I could agree with that. But let me take this to y'all. Imagine meeting yourself, the little you, before the world told you who you should become, who you should be. Because a lot of us are not doing what we said. We're thinking who we are, but we thinking who we are based off of a program from somebody else. I tell my children all the time, if you don't want to fall underneath my program, something or someone else is programming you. I don't care if it's a cell phone, I don't care if it's social media. But if you don't want to abide by the programming that I'm administering, not that you have to, somebody else will program you. Okay? So if I was imagining meeting my little self before the world programmed me, what? There is so much that I know I missed out on. What did I do that I loved to do? Who was I as a person? What excited me? What made me feel alive before somebody told me that that's not something you should be doing? That's not something that is worth you doing because it's not what society, it's not the norm for society, so you shouldn't be doing that. Why? Because you say so? Or because somebody told you, that's not what you're supposed to be doing? One thing I plan on doing this year and moving forward is stepping out on boldness, stepping out on what I desire. Stepping out on what I desire. Andrea, I don't know if you're speaking in Spanish, but I kind of know what Santa means. No, we don't speak. I don't speak Spanish fluently, but anyway. So this is I want to talk about like I say it all the time. Like I'm learning now to go back to being me, the spontaneous Shakol who did whatever the hell she wanted when she wanted to, and I don't care what needs to be taken care of. Hey, Jaira, I don't care what needs to be taken care of. I want to be me all day, every day. I don't care who's looking. I don't care who's listening. I want to move like me. I want to step into that boldness. I am that. I don't want to do anything. I am that. Because beneath the responsibilities, the bills, the expectations, the people pleasing, and trying to be everything for everyone, there is a version that I buried. There is a version that I buried because of the freaking conditioning. I don't want that no more. I'm choosing me. I'm choosing me. And I know I can't be the only one who's experienced this. If there's any ladies on this chat, I know for a fact you've experienced it. And not even just for the ladies, men experience it too. They just not gonna speak on it as much as we would. I know I'm not the only one that experienced this. Okay, because one of the most fascinating things about domestication is the cage often feels safe. That's crazy how we've gotten so comfortable with that safety that we don't even notice that it's there because it's safety to us. The best way to live a good life is to be who you are and not what people call you. It is. But most of us don't do that. I'm telling you, I've been sitting back and observing. Most of us don't do that. I've had an issue with doing it because I felt like, you know what? People are looking at me. This is unacceptable. So most people don't do that. Most people don't live the way they desire to live. They won't say a certain thing because of people listening. They won't do a certain thing because of other people. And like I said, the cage often feels safe. We don't even notice that we're in a cage. We don't even notice that we're in a cage because predictability feels safe. I can predict this is how my day is going to go. This is how this is going to go if I stay in the same routine that I've been following for years. Even if I hate it, who cares? I'll be able to freaking pay the bills. I'll be able to maybe take a trip once a year. I'll be able to do that. So I'm okay with being in the cage. I'm okay with that. This routine feels safe to me. And knowing what's next, what's supposed to come next feels safe. It feels safe to them. But comfort can sometimes be, guess what? A prison. The same prison that we put domesticated animals in. The same prison. It becomes a freaking prison. Okay. And not because comfort is bad. It's not bad. But because growth rarely happens in comfort. It rarely happens in comfort. If you think about it, my cat doesn't think she's missing a thing. She doesn't think she's missing one thing because she's learned to live domesticated. She's learned to do what she's been told. She's learned to follow the same routine day in and day out. We have been domesticated. All right. How many dreams have we abandoned because they felt uncomfortable? They felt scary. They felt unknown. Nobody can make you inferior until you make yourself one, right? You can be inferior when you live by the thought or views. You can be inferior when you live by the thought or views of others about you. You can be inferior or you cannot be inferior when you live by the thought or views of others about you. I don't know how you can be inferior. Explain that to me. When you live by the thoughts of others, you live by the thinking of what others are telling you to do. How many conversations have we avoided? How many opportunities have we declined because of that comfortableness we've been having? How many versions of ourselves have we sacrificed just to fit in? We've sacrificed versions of ourselves all the time. I know I have, and I'm not doing it no more. It sucks. It doesn't serve me. Let me ask you something, Ralphini, since you're talking. What is something you've always wanted to do but haven't done because of fear of judgment, because of fear or judgment or uncertainty? I know if you're in here and you feel like responding, what is something you've always wanted to do but you didn't do in fear of judgment, in fear of uncertainty? I can tell you, there's a bunch of, oh my gosh, there's a bunch of shit I haven't done because I cared about what others say and think. But that ship has sailed because I ain't doing it no more. I ain't doing it no more. And this is kind of where the things get interesting at. Because we often think freedom means physical freedom. So many of us think, I hear people say, oh, I just want freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from what exactly? Physical freedom, freedom to travel, freedom to do whatever you want when you want to do it and don't give a damn, you know? Because you could travel and still be trapped. You could have money and still be trapped. You can have success and still be trapped. Oh, absolutely. You can. Because the deepest limitations are often invisible, guys. It's invisible. It's not external, it's internal. The belief that I'm not enough, the belief I'm too old. I hear that one a lot. Oh, I guess I missed out on my opportunity now because I don't gave up. I'm old now. Oh my God. I hate I hate when I that word has become so much of a habit to me that sometimes I find myself using it and I have to quickly switch up and say aged because old is a mindset. You only old if you think you old. Or some of them say I'm too young. Too young to do what? Too young for what? I feel like if you could say the words I'm too young or I'm too old, I don't want to please I don't want to please people to slow my happiness. Exactly, me neither. I did that already. I did that for a long time. I feel like I'm a beast unleashed. I definitely feel like I am a beast unleashed right now. Okay. I'm like, damn, where was this freedom at? For years now. I look in the mirror and I'm actually starting to realize who I am. I'm starting to remember what I liked, what I used to do. I'm starting to remember that I don't give a damn what people say and think about me. I'm not going to come off arrogant at all because I ultimately believe in treating people how I want to be treated. But I'm not lowering or shrinking myself to please anybody else. No. I'm capable of doing whatever it is I please to do, when and where, respectfully. Respectfully, though. But you know what? Freedom requires responsibility. Freedom requires thinking. Okay, freedom requires questioning. Freedom requires courage. Okay, it's much easier to let someone else tell us what to believe. It's much easier to let someone else tell us what to do. It's much easier to do those things because that way it keeps us from having to think for ourselves. It keeps us from having to switch up from the norm. It keeps us from feeling uncomfortable. What to think, who we are, what is possible, those things. But eventually, something inside of you is going to start asking that. Eventually, something inside of you is going to start asking that. Eventually, you get tired of taking rules, taking orders. Eventually, you will. There has to be more than that. There has to be more than that because it is. It is. And one thing I've been realizing is that when you live to please others, you trade your freedom of thinking right. Yeah, you just trade your freedom of you trade what you do is you give up on yourself. You sin. You deny yourself of happiness. I'm not denying myself of anything else, but that is exactly what you do. You deny yourself because you care what people say. You never wanted freedom. You like being told what to do. It's easier. It's easier to have somebody else think for you. It is. And that's why most people just say, "Hey, let me just do what I'm supposed to do." Because if I start thinking and I become creative, then now I look like the oddball out. I look like, I'm gonna be alone. Yeah, you will be for a time being. But then you'll find like-minded individuals who think the same way you think. You will. You will start attracting that. You will start bringing that towards you. But if you don't start questioning and you just continue to be domesticated and stay in that cage, that prison, hey, and a lot of us won't get it this time. But that don't sit well with me. Even though I know I'm not the one to who can switch your way of thinking and I'm not here to do that either. I'm simply here to just open your mind to new perspectives. But let me say this. I say that to say this. I would love for us to come outside of the damn cage. Release yourself from the cage you've been in from the time you were born. Whether you like it or not, you've been in a cage. You've been in a cage. I really love your sound and boldness to reality. Yeah, because I'm really tired of living the way everybody expected us to live. I'm really tired. It doesn't serve me. It doesn't make me feel good. And I didn't come here for that. I can tell you that. I didn't come here for that. I came here to live, to experience life on my terms. And now that I know that I'm the creator of those terms, best to believe I'm acting out. I'm not shrinking anymore. I'm going to remember my curiosity. I'm going to remember my courage. I'm going to remember my creativity, my connection. I'm going to remember who the hell I am. I don't want to fit in. I want to get out of the cage. I want to move from out of the prison. It's unfortunate that domesticated animals got to stay in it, but we don't. We don't have to. We choose to. Oh, nice. Nice. Legos. Okay, I used to watch a few little movies from Legos. I appreciate you being here because if I'm certain it's early in the AM over there, no? It's early in the AM? What is it like? What? 2, 3? I'm not sure. But anyway, so because when I watch people, I just been people watching, literally. And I watch them just move through their life. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you what I see. I see exhaustion. I see them not liking themselves. I see them trying to fit in. It just sucks. It sucks so bad for us. And I was there for years. It sucks. Who wants to live their life like that? Honestly, it's boring. It's absolutely boring. I see people carrying burdens, and this is the major one that it really gets underneath my skin. I see people surviving, just surviving. What? I'm over that. Oh yeah, it's 1:30. I could imagine. I knew it was early. I just see people surviving, and I just can't help but wonder: were we really created to just wake up, work, pay bills, sleep, and repeat? Were we? Because I'm starting to think, and then no, forget, I'm starting to think. I know that it's something deeper that we're meant to experience. It can't be that. Connection, purpose, joy, peace, meaning, presence. Not someday, now. Don't tell me someday. I hate hearing, oh, one day I will know. Now. Right now. Right now. I have a challenge coming up, a 30-day challenge. The name of the challenge is gonna be What If? Okay, it's gonna be a what if challenge. And can I help? Can I help me? I'm dad. I mean sad. You are sad. Why are you sad? So I got a 30-day challenge coming up, and this is gonna be very. It's gonna be. It's gonna explain that every transformation begins with a question. Every transformation begins with a question. Questions create awareness, and awareness creates choice. You know what choice creates? Change. I'm gonna have questions in here such as, what if I'm capable, more capable than I believe? What if fear isn't telling me the truth? Those type of questions are gonna be in the are gonna be in there. I'm 12 and I hate myself, but I don't know how to tell my mom and dad. Ooh. You're gonna have to connect with me outside of this chat because I don't want to have your business inside of this chat. So you can email me. You can email me at shakolesworld@gmail.com. I don't want to have these personal conversations inside of the chat. But I appreciate you being bold enough to step out and say that. I appreciate you being bold enough, especially at 12, to step out and say that with people on live right now. I appreciate that, and I'm willing to have that conversation with you. It just wouldn't be here in the live. So email me at shakolesworld@gmail.com. So it's the name of my channel at Gmail. Many people survive by doing the same way. Exactly. That's all you doing though. Survive. Who wants to just survive? It's boring. Exactly. Most people don't live the life they want to. And don't think that it's all about the money either. It is about money. I love money. Nothing wrong with money. But you have people that have the money who still just surviving. You have people who have the money who still ain't happy. You have the people who have the money who still cannot be themselves because now they in a bigger life. They in a bigger light. Now they more eyes are on them. So don't think that the fame and the fortune takes away that. That's an individual inner being that you have to first acknowledge and pay attention to. That's it. So tonight wasn't about convincing anyone of anything. It was just an observation. I'm observing, questioning, thinking for myself, and remembering we were not, maybe we're not as free as we think we are. I'm telling you, we're not. We've been domesticated, just like the animal and the dog that we keep. We've been domesticated. And in order for us to come out of domestication, we have to start questioning. What if it was all a lie? And what happens when you remember the truth? This book is available on Amazon right now because if you don't start questioning these things, you will stay in that cage, you will stay in that prison until the day you leave from the vessel that you're in right now. And then you can ask yourself, what was the point of all of this? Why ask that question then when you can ask it now? Why ask that question when when you're on your way out? Why not ask it now? There's nothing to be afraid of. I guarantee you, you're not going to be punished for asking a question. You can't be. And I'm fully sure that the moment you start questioning certain things, your awareness shifts. Your awareness will shift. But I'm not gonna keep you guys here any longer. What if it was all a lie? And what happens when you remember the truth is on Amazon now, available. Get your copy. Read the book. Read the book. I love you all. Stay tuned. And old green lady, feel the need to email me. And thanks, Ralphini. I appreciate the back and forth, the conversation. You all have a great night. I love you all, and I will see you next Saturday. But I have videos on the channel all week. I love you all.